In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys a few tips on how you could possibly save money while rolling around out here in these streets. And this could pertain to any sort of job that you may be doing where you're using your vehicle and you're out all day. So first, let's just talk about the simple things that a lot of you are actually doing every day, and you probably don't think too much about it because it's just a routine for you. You get up every morning, you set your appointments early in the morning hour, and you head out, but you know you can't start your day good without your cup of coffee. You coffee drinkers, you know who I'm talking about because I drink coffee myself. If you are one who are spending money at the Starbucks, wherever you may be getting it from, and you are putting money out on coffee, I'm gonna need you guys to cut that out, okay? I need you to start using your money wisely so that you don't be spending so much, because coffee adds up. By the end of the week, if you are, as a matter of fact, whoever buys Starbucks coffee or any sort of coffee every day of the week, I don't want to do the math on it. I know it's somebody out here who's watching who actually buys it. Drop it down in the comment section. I am very curious to know how much that adds up to be at the end of the week, so we can do a multiply by 4 weeks and see how much we come up with for the month. But anywho, get you some coffee, make your coffee at home, get up early enough so that you can do that if that is what you like to drink in the morning. As far as lunch is concerned, bring your lunch with you. There's nothing wrong with packing up a lunch. Now, if you're not going to be gone all day and you're only going to be gone a certain amount of hours, it doesn't make sense to pack a whole lunch bag. So I'm not talking about pulling in your leftovers from last night, making a whole big old container full of food and packing it up, unless that's the way you eat. Now, if it's not and you are a light eater, just pack you something up every single day so you never have to stop. And you can use a lunch bag. And this is my little lunch bag, okay? Don't y'all talk about it. I done had it a while. But this is my little lunch bag, and on the side it has a little place where I can put my juice if I want to put my juice, even though I don't use that because my juice don't stay cool. But I actually put my juices on the inside because it has the aluminum thingy on the inside. You know what it is. All right. Most of the time, the only thing I'm going to have with me, at least lately, since I've been only doing commercial inspection, I have my juices because I juice a lot. So I have my green juices and I may have my veggie juices in there, and it's in here and it stays cool while I'm out. Those are pretty much my meals. If for whatever reason I decide I may want something a little heavier in my stomach, I may cut up some fruits and throw it in there, but I'm not gonna be gone no more than probably 4, maybe 5 hours at most, and that includes leaving the house and getting back. So if you're gonna be out all day and you know you're gonna be hungry, fix you some lunches. Go to the grocery store and invest in some little quick lunches that you could probably put in your bag that doesn't require a microwave. You know, get creative with it and come up with ideas of the types of foods that you could take with you so that you're not spending all of that money when it comes to lunch and when you get hungry at any time of the day while you're out here on these streets. Because I don't know where you guys are from, but here, I know for a fact that to just stop and get a simple sandwich and some fries and a drink, and you done spent $15 easily. Now imagine if you are doing home inspections and you have a lot of inspections that you're doing that are only outside photos. By the time you run through a drive-through and come out, you've just given them your inspection money. Okay, so try to take food with you. And another thing, if you set your schedules later in the day, just make sure you eat before you leave the house. Leave home with your stomach already full. That is going to make you not stop anyway. That's just like if you was to go make grocery. You know, you go to the grocery store and you starving. Like, I gotta go to the grocery store. I ain't got nothing in my kitchen. I am hungry. When you walk in there, this is a fact. You are gonna see stuff that you know you normally would not buy. It's gonna end up where? Right in your buggy. But if you went in there on a full stomach, you're going to stick to whatever list you had, and you're going to go in there and get only what you went in there for, unless you just have some sort of strong addiction to some sort of item in the store, like barbecue potato chips. That's me. I just decided I'd throw that in there so you guys need to know I ain't perfect now. I eat clean, but sometimes them barbecue, let's go on. So the next thing you need to do in order to save you some money is to make sure, okay, guys, if you're going to be driving out here in these streets, you know your car is very important. It is the most vital thing that you're going to need in order to get this work done. Keep your car maintained, okay? Keep your oil changed, keep the spark plugs, the wires changed. Get everything done that needs to be done for your car, okay? Make sure your tires are at a level where it should be so you don't end up somewhere with a flat. And this flat, some people don't like to pull over, so now you're driving before you know it. Instead of just getting the air in the tire, now you need a whole new tire. Take charge of making sure that your car is maintained. And that is because when you stop and put gas in your car, and I hope you're filling the tank up, it's not going to burn that much gas because you've maintained your car. And another way to save the gas is to set your schedules in a particular way. You want to make sure the way you set your schedules when you're making these appointments, it's not going to have you on this side of town, and then the next one is all the way on this side of town, and then the next one is all the way on that side of town. And now you're back to this side of town, but you live all the way back there. Now, if you've done 4, and by the time you get home, you've probably used a quarter tank. So you do that every day, by the end of the week, you need more gas. Set your schedules in a particular way where you don't have to worry about blowing your gas out of your car. Don't spend a lot of money on clothes nor shoes. If you're simply going out to do inspections, it doesn't take all of that. Just be nice and neat and presentable. You can wear jeans if you choose to, as long as they're not ripped, and present yourself as a professional. You do not have to spend a lot of money. And I have to say this because I know there are people who are spending an awful lot of money all right, to go out here and do these inspections and kick off these measuring wheels out in these people's yards, only to mess the bottom of your clothes up if their yard is a mess. Don't spend a lot of money on clothes. Just be presentable. As far as your shoes are concerned, that goes for that too. Now let's talk about supplies. The only thing you're going to need as far as inside the home when you're doing paperwork is typing paper and ink. And as far as saving money with the paper, you can reuse old files. See, when I first started off, I wasn't reusing files. I was just steady buying paper, and every time I get an inspection, I would print them out and staple them together and go out and do what I'm going to do and come back and put the file up and wait and see if the inspection is going to be shot back to me from QC. And if it wasn't, then once I get paid, I would connect my invoice to it and put it in a little folder just in case it does come back up later, because sometimes it actually does. And a lot of you who already do this work, you can probably contest to that. You know, sometimes out of the blue, you may get an email or something and they ask you about an old file that you probably already done. Would you happen to have such and such? I know we sent you out, but the underwriter wants to know blah, blah, blah. And you already done got paid for it. Okay, but at least you have the paperwork. So everything that I did from last year, I have it in a cardboard box, about so big, right? And it has a top on it. And I just threw everything from the year before inside of the box. So when I got tired of buying paper, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to buy another case of paper. So let me change this thing up. I started using the same paper that I already used. How do I do that? Flip it over on the other side. So what I'm meaning is you take the paperwork that you've already done. Don't do it until after you've been paid for it now, okay? Make sure you've already been paid. And it does help that you've done enough files so you know that you have enough that you can kind of lean into whenever you need more papers. I just pulled the box out of the closet, slid it up under the edge of my desk, and now whenever I need paper, I take my little staple remover. I take the paperwork just like this here, and I pull the staple out of it. I turn it over on the other side. I do enough of them until I got me a good little stack that'll fill up my printer. I slide them in and I print it on the other side. Whose business is it? Nobody but yours. Why? Because you are not leaving the paperwork with the insured when you go. You just simply asking the questions. So what's on the back of the paper? It ain't none of their business. I did have somebody one time ask me, I have all my paperwork on a clipboard. And when I flipped it, he happened to be on the other side of the paper. And so when I flipped it, he said, you missing some questions? And I was like, no. He said, yeah. I said, oh, no, them ain't for you. And then I just grabbed it and put it up under my clipboard so he couldn't see them and kept going. So now I just know to make sure that I flip it so that they can what? Mind theirs while I mind mine. You can do the back side of the paper, and that will keep you from buying paper. I can't tell you, and this is on everything, the last time that I have bought typing paper to do field inspections. It's been a long time. And my box is still at least 60% full from the ones that still need to be used on the opposite side. So that's most definitely how you can save paper. Now, let's talk about saving money on your ink. All right, now you know you're gonna have to print out your forms anyway. Whenever they send it to you, you pull it up and get ready to print it. It pops up in the PDF and you have to print them out. So let's say, for instance, you're doing an inspection and there are 3 or 4 different parts to the inspection. Okay, so you have this set of forms inside of one inspection. There's one set of forms, there's another set of forms, there's another set of forms. And you're gonna have to print all 3 of them. Well, on the first page of every form, 9 times out of 10, it's going to have the same information. This set of forms has that information on it, that set, and that set. So when you print the first one, you don't have to print the first sheet unless you choose to. The first sheet that I always print is always the main sheet that has the information of the insured, the policy number, the address, the phone number, the email, all of that good stuff, and what the name of the policy is, what type of inspection I'm doing, and the location, okay? That's the only one that I'm gonna print off of that form. I'm not gonna print that top one that's got all of that other digital information that goes for the company itself anyway, because why would I waste my ink? And if the bottom sheet only has some little writing on it, let's say page 7, I am not going to print page 7. So if it's page 1 through 7, I'm only going to print pages 2 through 6. I'm going to save my ink on those 2 sheets. I do the same thing for every set of files that I do in order to make sure that I preserve my ink as far out as I possibly can. If you guys are doing any other things to help you save money when it comes to doing field inspection, please feel free to jot it down in the comment section and let's talk about it, because I love saving money. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope my tips helped you, and enjoy the rest of your day.